In this video, I put my second camera on the boom on Grace, and midway through the sail, realized it provided an opportunity to sort of talk with the camera there about the basics of sailing. So this is how I learned the terms and points of sailing many, many years ago. Hope you enjoy the video. After a really hot and humid weekend, hauling the tractor out to our land on Grace's trailer and bush hogging a bunch of stuff down. Weather's turned. I think I'm going to do switch the trailer back over, get Grace back onto it, get a little bit of this gorgeous morning out on the water. Maybe try messing around with a second camera underside of the boom. How to keep the sheet out of the way. We'll get a view just from one side. Almost midsummer. I really enjoyed this view. Not something I get to see on the side of the boat like that. Just ghosting along. A breeze? Since the video ended up with an explanation about sailing basics, the way I learned them years ago, decided the first part of this just to take you through a bunch of tacks, working upwind. Goes from 0 to 10 there, maybe more so. missed the clues when the
breeze is lifted over top of the surface like this. I love it when water's high in here. Nothing toucher, as they said in the old schooners. I might be able to talk in this video about points of sailing, some sailing basics. All this time we've been heading upwind, called a beat. Not quite as far in as I could go, but and you can see I'm not holding my course. I've got the sails in as far as I want them, and I'm adjusting my course to keep the sails full. And so as the wind changes, I've changed my course, and we're zigzagging because you can't go more than like 45 degrees from the wind. You stop and start going backwards. Just like airplane wings, the sails lose lift. So if I were to turn any closer to the wind and slow down, sails start flapping. They're called luffing, and eventually if I kept it up, we would go backwards. So you zigzag or tack upwind. The main thing I'm looking at are those two telltales, as they're called. Too close to the wind, the inside one or windward one flaps. Too far off the wind, the outside or leeward one flaps. Like if I turn away from the wind too far, you'll see the green guy loses pressure. That's like an airplane wing stalling. And you lose lift, or for a sailboat forward power. But also we're trying to get upwind, so we want to be as close to the wind as we can going upwind. So I'm constantly looking at those two telltales, trying to keep the sail flying. Alright, let's tack. I'm going to fall off, which means head a little further away from the wind. And this is close to a beam reach. Probably notice I like to keep the main sheet in my hand if it's potentially gusty like this. So if I get overpowered, I can quickly release it. So I'm looking at several things to try to figure out, given the angle of the sails I have set right now, what angle do I want for the max efficiency to the wind. And of course the telltales are the main ones. You want them flowing around both sides. I'm also looking at the ripples, not the big waves. Not that there are very big waves in here right now, but the tiniest ripples are the most up-to-date reflection of the direction of the wind. It's coming somewhere around there. And then of course the feel of the wind on your face. You can also see I'm continually moving around in the boat because depending on the amount of force on the sails, I'm the ballast. So I like to keep a pretty constant angle, just a little bit of a lean or heel as we call it. And to do that I might move back and forth from the center of the boat out here, and then if it really starts pushing me, all the way out onto the rail, called hiking. All right, one more tack. And we'll fall off a little bit more to a broad reach. here the wind is somewhat behind the center line of the boat, or the beam of the boat. Go ahead and try a jibe. Jibing is where you turn the stern of the boat to the wind rather than the bow, and so it will suddenly swing from one side to the other. So you don't want an unexpected, uncontrolled jibe. If you're going downwind straight with the wind, it gets a little boring, and if it's really windy, I don't like it because you can't really easily luff. You can't release the pressure on the sail. Here, with a broad reach, I could still ease the main and luff, take some pressure off, head into the wind. And you feel wind in your face and you're going faster. The fastest you can go on a run is the speed that the wind is going, minus the drag of the boat. Here we've got airplane wing acceleration. Our own forward speed adds to the speed of the wind. Not a whole lot in a boat like this. In an ice boat or in the new America's Cup foilers, the component of forward speed of the boat to the actual wind can be like 100% or more. But still, broad reach is fun, beam reach is fun. It's all fun. Alright, so you can see I'm backwinding the main, the backside telltale. So it's shifted around, and now it's shifting back. The other thing about broad reach off the wind versus the closer you are to the wind, in the sail there's a sideways force as well as forward force, and the ratio varies. When you're close to the wind, a lot of that force is sideways, basically sort of 90 degrees to the angle of the sail. As you go away from the wind, more downwind, more and more of that force is forward and less sideways. So it's easier to keep the boat upright going downwind. Pulling in on the jib sheet, it's called trimming. Letting it out is called easing. So this is the main sheet controlling the mainsail, and those are two jib sheets controlling the jib. Could talk about coming into a dock. The ideal is to turn upwind so that you can slow the boat down. Even if you let the sails all the way out, if you're going downwind, you're still going to crash into the dock. I like approaching it basically a little bit more than a 45-degree angle. That lets me ease along the dock, pull the sails in and out to control my speed, and stop where I want. Full slack. And backboard to get the sails down. Tilt wind. swings back, it gives me a favorable
There we have it.
short but sweet.